1996 was a golden age of video games, a time where video game and video game companies were on the rise as more and more seemed to be created while others seemingly appeared out of nowhere. From great games like Castlevania to obscure games like Vestige West, each new game that was developed were unique in design and made to stand out in their own way. But due to the limitations of the 8-bit graphics, it was hard to really branch out and truly convey the feel of a game. But the one thing that always seemed to stand out in these classic NES titles was the awesome music each game seemed to bring to the table, and there is a ton of awesome music out there. I'm John, and this is my top 10 most favorite NES music from games that I've played. I could go on and on about how awesome Castlevania, Mega Man, Zelda's, and Metroid's music were, but I'm here to talk about the most memorable, most nostalgic, and most awesome songs I remember from games that I played as a kid. These are songs that were a major part of my childhood and seem to be stuck in my head no matter how long it's been since I played these games. Hope you enjoy. Number 10. Renegade. Or more commonly known as the westernized made to look like the Warriors version of Niketsu Koha Kunio-kun, which roughly translates to hot-blooded tough guy Kunio. Thanks, Wikipedia. And anything that was made to look slightly like the Warriors is always awesome in my book. This game can be pretty difficult for those first time players, but the music had the perfect 80s beat 'em up feel to it, and the game itself fit perfectly into the genre, even almost making a landmark in it before Double Dragon came along. Perfect. Number 9. Ultima Exodus. Who doesn't remember this game? A lot of people actually. Tons of people. And the people I know have never even heard of this game. Just yesterday a friend of mine was over and he was like, "Hey, is that Final Fantasy game?" How dare he? How dare he? How dare he? But the game's menu music especially is constantly stuck in my head. But as good as the music is, the game was just made to screw you over. To this day I've never beaten it. But recently I decided to give it another shot. And I can certainly say I'm happy to have these classic tunes back in my life. There's nothing better than that sense of fear and confusion to this new open world that's been revealed to you. Not to mention I got that battle theme stuck in my head. Number 8. Oh yeah! Solar Jetman was a kick-ass game with some kick-ass tunes. Each level song had its own otherworldly outer space feel, and entering the warp zone and hearing that bump and beat get faster and faster the closer you got to warping was something I was just listening to a few minutes ago. The physics and gravity coupled with the dangerous life forms and music all put the game together to really give you that feel of exploration and struggle to get by on hostile alien planets. Also very addicting if you like to think things out. I mean, who doesn't want to test their skills at being an awesome space pilot? It's just seriously one of the most intricate NES games I've played, and the sprite work was really well done for its time. This game truly deserves its place on this list. Number 7. Ah yes, Final Fantasy. What? Come on, it's Final Fantasy! This music is purely iconic and defined the RPG genre in and of itself. The classic 8-bit battle themes and boss musics were clearly ones that stayed in the hearts of everyone who played this awesome classic. All those countless hours I spent putting into this game only to have my NES not save, and I'd have to start all over making it to where the only way I could beat the game was in one sitting. And what a sitting that was. Everything in this game was just near perfect and was a major part of my childhood. Number 6. Bad Dudes, or known in some places as Bad Dudes vs. Dragon Ninja, or just Dragon Ninja in Japan. But not particularly all of Bad Dragon Ninja Dudes vs. Dragon Ninja's music, but the theme for the second stage where you rode on top of that 18-wheeler, duking it out with hordes of ninja. The theme it had completely gave you that feel of moving on forward because you were, simply put, a bad dude fighting ninjas to save the president. What more of a reason do you need to be a bad dude? Number 5. Conquest of Crystal Palace. Now this one is most certainly not a well-known title, but it had some seriously great music and some seriously great gameplay, along with one of the most memorable characters in my book. This game really had some awesome magic and abilities and some really cool and intense boss battles along the way. I mean, how awesome is a game that has its own starting theme and at the last stage had its own remix of it in order to give you that feeling of progression and difficulty, as well as giving you that feeling of being an utter badass because you plowed through the entire game and are now pushing your way on through the enemy palace to take out the final boss. Awesome! Number 4. That title music! It's so rare! Resident Warriors has an incredible title screen music, so well done that you can even find tons of piano interpretations all over YouTube. But the title screen isn't my only favorite. The song that comes out when you save each princess and get outside Castle Ironspire has always been one of my most favorite of the game. Not one will stay stuck in my head as much as that theme did. The game had loads of items, power-ups, and tons of neat mechanics to work with, and was one of the most fun games I remember playing. Also check out those sick dance moves!
You can't touch this. You can't touch this. You can't touch this. You can't touch this.
Number 3. Vestige Quest. Uncle Feste's fucking quest was a terrible and very obscure game about Uncle fucking Fester going on an Uncle fucking quest to save the planet from aliens. This game had some pretty heavy flaws to it. It wasn't too good of a game, but the one thing that stood out more than anything else was its insanely kick-ass music. I mean, just listen to that boss theme. Come on, tell me that didn't scream awesomeness. The game may have been terrible, but I had a lot of fun with it solely because it was the music that kept me going. Number 2. Ninja Gaiden 1! Oh, the infamous but still iconic game Ninja Gaiden. Known for its ridiculous difficulty, this game had some of the best, most iconic, and still looked after songs to this day. With Unbreakable Determination being a song that people everywhere still love. So much so that Warrior Orochi 3 had a completely remastered, utterly amazing version of it made just for Ryu. Also Ryu fucking Hayabusa! It was pretty difficult in and of itself to assemble this top 10, and picking number 1 was an incredibly difficult task. But here it is. My number 1 most favorite and most nostalgia-inducing NES game music is... all of them! Just kidding. The #1! Street Fighter 2010. Okay, I know some games have some truly amazing songs in them, but I put this game at my #1 because, well, the gameplay was truly awesome, aside from some minor annoyances. You had all kinds of special moves and some seriously awesome tricks and abilities, and despite some difficult gameplay, each stage had a unique tune that fit the mood perfectly. It just had this spot-on sci-fi feel. The music was incredibly well done, and there wasn't a single one that I didn't enjoy. I know a lot of things had me confused as to whether or not it was an actual Street Fighter game due to the setting and character appearances and such, and it didn't help that the guy's name was Ken, and that he was champion of the Street Fighter circuit, and the fact that the game was made by Capcom. But the biggest disappointment was that it's Street Fighter 2010, meaning it's taking place in 2010, and right now it's 2013. Why haven't I seen any of this amazing technology? I mean, come on! When do I get my own super suit? Honey! Where is my super suit? But aside from all that silliness, in my own opinion, this game was one of the best in terms of playability, and its music totally deserves my #1 spot. Thanks for watching.